Greetings and welcome to Growth Hacking Secrets. I'm your host Mohammed Siddique from Atlanta, Georgia, and the co-author of New Success Secrets available on Amazon. On this episode, we have a special guest, Victor Dwyer. Victor is an entrepreneur, marketer, advertising specialist, Amazon expert, and social media strategist. Please join me to give a warm welcome to our guest, Victor Dwyer. Victor, welcome.
Yeah, glad to be here. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you. Let me start with this. Where were you? What happened? Who were you surrounded with that inspired you to do what you do today?
I would say um I I'm in Prosper, Texas right now, and very Texas-based person. I love Texas, everything about it, and definitely don't have that accent though. I don't have the accent and all that. I'm not riding horses or anything else like that, but I still really enjoy this place. It's very hot, but it's nice. The people I'm surrounded with, most of my friends, I would say, are probably nerds, what most people would classify as. And those have always, my entire life, I've always surrounded myself with very smart people that aren't very personable, and it's been great. And I really enjoy those type of people because I've always resonated with them. So I really like those type of people, and that's how I surrounded myself throughout my entire life. And where the person that inspired me, I would either say probably Gary Vaynerchuk. He's a really good inspiration, and he has a really good mindset of why he does things. And I say he would be probably one of my biggest inspirations when it comes to joining the marketing realm.
What are the top three reasons why do people fail?
I would say the first one, ego. Ego is a big killer on a bunch of different things, on a bunch of different levels. People get egotistical and they think they're better than everyone else, making them vulnerable for a lot of things. I see this all the time within business. They think they're better than anyone else. And if you have an ego, you can't delegate. You don't trust other people to do things. Like, it's just a big, big vulnerability, and it makes it where you can't scale a real business if you have a big ego. So, and there are lots of ways to silence an ego. I always tell myself, like, I'm never better than there will always be someone better than me. That's how I silence my ego to make sure that doesn't happen to me. Um, I would say the second reason would be lack of confidence, self-worth, and that way people don't even get started because they don't believe in themselves and what they can do. Confidence is a big factor when it comes to really trying to reach success and believing that you can reach success, because believing is just the first step in that process, and confidence is the way to do that. So my second would be confidence. And then my third, I would say, is probably, why else would someone fail? I would say my third one would probably be work ethic, like actual drive to accomplish the goal. And for example, a lot of people fail because their initial goal is for money. And that's just not the way to do it. Because if your initial goal is money, then you're going to make decisions based off money, meaning that you might scam people, you might do bad things, you might do things that are not basically helping the relationship of the people that you're building around you. And that makes you very vulnerable, because if you're always chasing money, you're going to get tripped up. There's a lot of things that you're going to be stressed out if something bad doesn't happen. And it makes it where your business is very vulnerable, because your end goal should be about building relationships with other people rather than building money. So it's all about drive, and what you're exactly driven to makes a big difference. And there's a lot of reasons why people fail.
What is your greatest failure story? What did you learn and how did you recover from it?
Um, I would just say a miscommunication when it comes to turning off a Facebook ad campaign. And like, this, basically the client said to he undiscreetly said to turn off the campaign, and I didn't know that was an exact, okay, we need to turn it off. It was one of those things where like, hey, what are your thoughts on turning off the campaign? And like, yeah, we should probably do it, but like it was basically a miscommunication. And from there on, I basically learned to always like reiterate like and re-question like, hey, like, are we sure we want to do this? Do you want me to turn off the campaign? Do you want me to do these? And never assume anything when it comes to this, because we're all online now basically, and it's really important to never assume, so that way communication's always there.
How did you recover from it?
Like like that's what I learned. When I say recover, I mean, the client said like, okay, yeah, let's just not have the communication happen again. But that it wasn't really like a recovery process for it.
What are your top three success secrets that others can model from?
I would say the ability to not get stressed is a big one for me. And it's not necessarily a secret, but it's a mindset, the way I approach things. So, for example, I said that I don't make any decisions based off money. So, basically, meaning that if a client goes away, it's just okay. Like, I'll live. And my mindset is like literally, as long as I'm alive and I have my family, I'm happy. That's literally it. So, when it comes to other businesses trying to leverage and do other things, I'm okay with no matter what happens. And that makes it where very little things can actually affect me and what I do on a day-to-day basis. So I think that is one of the biggest things that has made me successful, is the ability not to get stressed, because I know at the end of the day we're just little ants on a rock floating through space that are surrounded by billions of other different rocks exactly like ours. So like at the same time, we're very small and significant. So what we do, these little mistakes that I may mess up, it's not going to matter in the very end. So it takes a lot of pressure off for sure. So I think that's one of the biggest ones. And then I guess secrets. I guess another one, if you're building a team, a really big one is just team culture is a really important one. One of my employees said something to me which was really fascinating. She said, "Never in my entire career have I been asked what I wanted to do, and you're the first person to ever like tell me that, hey, like, wow, you actually like care about what I want to do." And that was fascinating to me because I thought that was a very common occurrence in business applications, but apparently it's not. So my reasoning for that is, if the end person enjoys what they do, they will always do 1,000 times better job, and they will get better. They will constantly do it over and over and over and over until they have perfected it, making them where they enjoy that to do on a day-to-day basis. And that is what my job as an entrepreneur to say, and to make my employees, do they enjoy their job on a day-to-day basis, and make sure everyone's communicating. Those are my two jobs. After that, I did my job. So that would be a big, my second top secret when it comes to building a team. Really caring about the individual regardless of the task at hand. So I think that's a big one for me. And then another one would just be like, depending on what you define as success secrets, it's just being happy. Like, I'm a very, very happy person just in general. No matter what happens, it goes back down to like I'm alive, I have family, and it makes it where very little can actually affect me. So it's really important not to rely on external factors when it comes to your happiness. Like, basically, as long as I'm happy and I have my family, those are the only two things I need in order to like really be happy. So, like, if you say like, "Oh, I need this car. Oh, I need this house. Oh, I need this all these other things," you're going to you're going to set yourself up for failure, because if those external factors get taken away, You're going to become sad. There's a lot of millions of other things that can go on. So those would be my top 3 right there.
What motivates you within?
It's a great question. So I would say motive and passion go hand in hand, and all passion is multiple streams of curiosity, meaning that if you are curious in multiple different sectors of your life. So for example, let's say if you're interested in like Smurfs, for example. I'm just going to say something random. Smurfs. Okay? And then you're also interested in computer programs. Two completely opposite things. But if you somehow merged those curiosities for doing computer programming for Smurfs, then you will start to develop a passion from those multiple streams of curiosity, making you, and once you have that passion, then you can start being motivated and keep going from there. Because passion gives you a whole other level of motivation. So I would say I have a lot of curiosities, which makes me passionate about what I do. And I set myself up to where I hire people with the stuff I don't want to do, and then I do the things that I am passionate about, making me motivated of the certain things I do. So one of the weird things I love doing is automating things. My number one, like the fact that I can write a bot to automate certain tasks makes my mind like super happy. Like I get like when I see the bot like doing everything that I do, I'm like, oh, that is so cool. And after I see that, I'm like, that makes me super happy. It's one of those super weird things. And that's one of the things I'm curious about. And I can go on and on with all the other things I'm curious about, but those multiple streams of curiosity makes it where I'm passionate about what I do, which makes me motivated to what I do on a day-to-day basis.
What is your company's motto?
I would say relationships first. Like, and I know like that sounds like cliche, like, oh my gosh, we care about them first, but regardless, like I would rather, like there's a million different ways for things to go wrong, and I really do care about the end person 1,000 times more than any monetary value to ever exist. Like I would rather the client be successful and go off and do their own thing than rather them stay with us. Like I make decisions based off the relationship, not based off of the monetary value I gain out of it. And that's where I think we've been very unique and being able to differentiate ourselves in the space, and also really just care about the other person, which is typically not the case in most cases in business. So yeah,
Who is your ideal client?
I would say just any multi-million either e-commerce seller or Amazon seller.
How do you find your ideal client?
LinkedIn. LinkedIn's the easiest way. I just like I'm really big on LinkedIn. I do a lot of different posts on there. LinkedIn's the easiest way to do that.
How do you
Uh,
engage your ideal client?
all my clients come to me, so they always come to me through LinkedIn. So they basically contact me and say, "Hey, we got to set up a call," and I set up a call with them.
What are your well-defined products or services?
Um, I would say a big one is the ability to rank products on Amazon. So like a client will come to me and say, "Hey, I want to get my products to rank 1. I want to increase our sales." And then we say, "Okay, great. It'll be this much, and then we can get you to rank 1." And that way they can rank 1 and get those hundreds of $1,000s of increase in sales per month and see those massive sales bumps from there. So I would say that is the biggest unique factor when it comes to product offerings in the space.
Why someone should buy from you?
Um, I don't know. We just really know our stuff. Like like a lot of other agencies, they don't have it structured in a way that they really know what they're doing. They're going to give you very surface level information. So like, oh, we need to optimize your listings and everything else, but they very rarely go into the granularity to actually see big results on things. And I think that's where we've been able to really differentiate as well, is just being able to go in the granularity level of the account and figure out like, oh, we need to start experimenting with Amazon posts and all these things, because testing really is our religion, and we always testing new things every single day, and that's a big piece of what we do.
How do you crush your competition?
I would say by constantly testing, and very little people produce the amount of scale of content I produce on LinkedIn, making it where a lot of people come to me instead rather than my competition.
How do you deliver a five-star client experience?
By first communicating that, first of all, actually making the changes to the account, increasing the sales, and then communicating all the different things that we're changing to the client. As long as you do all those things that you're communicating, you're making the changes, and you're responding to the client, that is the best way to have a five-star experience with the client, and like have those weekly meetings, making sure that everyone's aligned of what's going on, and that way miscommunication is the only really way to not have a five-star experience. So I make sure to always be communicating.
How do you use your sales proposals to close more deals?
I Usually we don't do necessarily sales proposals necessarily. We basically hop on a call. I get whatever the client needs, and from there we just kind of discuss on what different levels of services they need. But it's not necessarily a sales proposal. We just like, it's communicated verbally, like, hey, if you need to go here, let's like, if you want to do a TikTok influencer strategy to your e-commerce site, we can do this, this, and this, and then we can start giving you traction in your sales, traction to your website through these particular strategies. And that's usually communicated verbally right now.
How do you convert your clients into your brand ambassadors?
It just happens naturally as you do a good job, and if you give them a five-star experience, they'll just naturally start to recommend other clients.
How do you handle an angry client?
Depends on the situation of what is going on. So let's say if it is miscommunication, then you have to take the responsibility first, saying, okay, yes, this is my fault of the miscommunication. I should have communicated to you that this happened with this and these things, these other things. And then after that, basically, once you take the responsibility, it takes a little bit of the leverage off them. Um, and then addressing the problem and how the solution of what's going to happen next is a big factor in there. So if you think about it, if they're angry, they're handling their idea, they're focusing on the past experience of what they just had. They're looking in the past. And if you focus on the future and the future occurrences, you can start giving them in a different mindset. Oh, says, yes, we did mess up, but this is what can happen in the future, so that way we can fix it and start to scale sales from there.
We are about to start a lightning round. That means quick question and quick answer. Are you ready?
Can you repeat that, please?
We are about to start a lightning round. That means quick question and quick answer. Are you ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
What are you grateful for today?
Just being alive, alive and good health. I'm fortunate every single day just to be woken up. Like, at the end of the day, I know we're just a bag of chemicals that just for some reason have the ability to be alive, which is crazy. Crazy. We're nothing. We're 90% of our body is made up of five chemicals, and that's really all we are. And yet we have this experience of being alive. So we really are fortunate to be here, and I see that. So it makes it where I'm appreciative every day I wake up.
How do you start your day?
I wake up, brush my teeth, and then like just get ready, like simple brushing teeth stuff, and then I turn on my computer and get to work. That's what I do.
How young are you?
I am 20 years old.
Victor, you're not 20 years old. You are 18 years old with 2 years experience. What do you want to do when you grow up?
When I would say just continue what I'm doing and being an entrepreneur.
What is your plan to achieve your goal?
Um, well, I already have achieved my goal, but I would say just to continue what I'm doing, keep scaling up my team, um, keep growing, and keep building a social media strategy to still be a leader in the industry and keep going from there.
How will you feel in case you don't achieve your goal?
I'm okay with that. I really am. If my business were to disappear tomorrow, I'd be okay. I really would. Like like I said, I don't rely on my external factors. So yes, will I be disappointed? Yes, I would. But I would say I know more than I did last time. Let's start it again. Let's try this out. So I think it's really important that you're just happy with what you are inside and then you go from there. Like I would never rely on my business for me to be happy. I mean, I need to work on something, but I will always have a million things to work on, and my business is just one of those things. So I think I'll be okay if I don't accomplish my goal.
How do you overcome a challenge life throws at you?
Looking at the big picture. So you have to realize like I when some like I don't get stressed or anything else because if you look really narrow, meaning that you're only looking at this problem. So for example, if you just can't overcome this obstacle and you're getting stressed out because all you're seeing is that obstacle and how to get around it. But if you look at the big picture, like of your entire life, this one little obstacle is going to make no difference in your life practically when it comes to the whole scale of your life. When you're 50 years older from where you are now, you're still going to look at this like this little perspective and you're going to go, wow, that little obstacle was nothing. And like almost every time we accomplish an obstacle or we get stressed for that big event, after we do that event, we're like, wow, why was I even stressed in the first place? Like it wasn't that bad. So it's funny, but that's how I look at it. I look at the big picture of things.
What is the advice you will give to younger yourself?
When I was um when I was 15, I was really focused. And I worked 14-hour days almost every single day. I did everything in my power and I worked just nonstop. And that's all I knew how to do. I was kind of like addicted to the work. And I think I didn't necessarily need to work as hard as I did. Um, but like I would say just keep doing what you're doing. He was like my younger self was doing the most he could have done in the past, and I'm benefiting from it now from all those working hour days. But I've learned recently that it's okay not to work 14 hours a day, but to work 11 hours a day, and that's like a big hurdle for me. So I'm really happy that I'm able to accomplish that and actually enjoy life a little bit.
Once you have a revenue generating idea, how do you convince your significant other?
Convincing. I don't. What do you mean? Really mean by this question?
Once you have a revenue generating idea, how do you convince your significant other?
So we'll be just convincing them on for them to purchase this like revenue generating it to invest in it or to just convince them that it's a good idea.
Up to you.
I mean, let's say good idea. Let's go with that. Um, it just comes down to like what the idea is, and if it's a good idea and I believe in it, it will come naturally of the types of arguments and agreements that come with it. So, Like, let's say if I had a revenue generating idea to, um, but like to invest in stocks, for example, I would just give all the benefits I possibly could. And if the significant other still doesn't believe in it, then like to address the arguments from there. So that's what I would say to that.
Who is your living mentor and what's the impact?
I would say Gary Vaynerchuk was probably my biggest either my teacher, Mr. Delano, or my Gary Vaynerchuk. But I would say let's go with Mr. Delano in this case. He's the one that introduced me to the internship program, and he's had a dramatic impact on my life and has probably pushed my progress probably 5 years, um, and made it where I developed really important relationships that have changed my life forever.
Can I interview your mentor, Gary Vaynerchuk?
You can, yeah, you can, yeah. Gary Vaynerchuk, he's huge, so yeah, sure. If you can get him on, that'd be great.
Why being impactful is important to you?
I would say admiration is an important aspect of my life because I enjoy having an impact on others. And to dive into it for a second, I would say it's probably important to me because I'm a very personable person and I enjoy relationships with other people. And the best way to create a relationship with someone is by having a personal impact on them. So I would say it's my ability to want to create relationships with others. And that's the reason why I want to be very impactful. And I would like the idea of me being remembered as well once I pass away.
That leads to my question, what do you want to be remembered for?
I would say just being a good dude. Like it could be like it'd be nice to be remembered as an entrepreneur or anything else, but the most important thing is just being a good dude. That's really all I care about.
How can we support you?
Um, like just showing what I do. I mean, like doing it right now, just constantly um, co-marketing efforts and things like that. That's really all I need. Um, that's that's really all I need. Like just doing exactly what we're doing right now. Can reach one new person. That's my goal each day is just to reach one new person and create a relationship with them, and just just live and be happy.
We are about to wrap up. I'd like to have your few words about today's guest experience on the show. Here's my question. What would you say about your today's guest experience on the show?
I'd say it'd be good. Good.
What would you say as a final word?
Um, I would say you can follow me on LinkedIn. That's where I post all my content for the most part. I am doing a social media strategy on other platforms now, but LinkedIn is where I focus all my attention right now. So that's probably what I would say is my final word.
Thank you so much, Victor, for sharing your wisdom with us today. On the behalf of Growth Hacking Secrets community and our entire team, we really appreciate you. This is Mohammed Siddique signing off from Atlanta, Georgia. Until the next episode, all good wishes.